Smartwatches used to be accessories, little mirrors of your phone, measuring steps and buzzing with notifications. But that era's over. Google just killed it. With the Gemini AI watch, they're replacing your wrist. Because this isn't a timepiece anymore. This is your first interface with reality. You want to know what's wild? It's not the features, it's not even the tech, it's what it represents. Google is turning AI into infrastructure, the same way roads and electricity structure your environment. Gemini is about to structure your thoughts, your habits, your next move. And it starts with something as familiar as a watch. They don't want you to use your tech. They want it to use you back, to follow your routines, speak your language, act like it's thinking with you. You don't scroll anymore. You don't even tap. You just say what's on your mind mid-workout, mid-walk, mid-life, and the watch just does it. No friction, no delay. Now people are excited. Finally, I don't have to remember my locker number at the gym. But think about what that really means. You handed over context, your location, your activity, your voice, and eventually, your dependence. This is about getting you used to outsourcing the process of solving. It's AI not as a tool, but as a layer between you and your own decisions. That's why this is strategic. And yeah, you literally won't believe what Google's Gemini AI watch can do. Because what it does isn't limited to notifications and summaries. What it does is blur the line between your brain and your device until you can't tell where your thought ends and Gemini's suggestion begins. And here's where it gets bolder. Google doesn't want you to use Gemini. They want you to live in it. This is about removing the concept of launching entirely. You speak, and the system adapts. Not just based on words, but on everything else. Your past messages, your calendar, your Gmail threads, your location, your timing, that's preemption. And it only works if you wear it. Every day, all day. And don't forget, they're not stopping with your wrist. The car, the TV, the headset, the glasses. Gemini is becoming your environment. It's ecosystem dominance. Because once you rely on it to think on your behalf, the interface doesn't matter anymore. It follows you. Quiet, invisible, useful, unavoidable. So if you're just looking for a cool new smartwatch, you're missing the story. This is the first step in a system designed to replace your interface with the world, with something that always listens, always predicts, and eventually, always decides. You won't believe what this thing can do. But more importantly, you need to ask, how much of your thinking are you willing to give?
We're in position.
Remember that scene from Iron Man? Yeah, the one where Tony taps his watch and it instantly transforms into the glove of his Iron Man suit? No, we're not getting that kind of watch. But with Gemini AI, we might be getting something even smarter. Because now, Google's putting an AI assistant right on your wrist. Not just a gadget, a wearable that listens, thinks, and acts like your own version of JARVIS. This is more than setting timers or checking your heart rate. Gemini can pull up your dinner reservation, remind you which locker you used at the gym, summarize your emails, all while your hands are covered in flour or you're mid-workout. Google just made its boldest move yet, and it starts with a watch that's way too smart.
First, there's a huge UI refresh, and we're really excited for people to take a look at it and give us their thoughts. Second, we have heard from consumers that they are excited about what a digital assistant can do for them. So we're bringing Gemini to more surfaces on Android, including the watch, the car, the TV, and more. And then finally, safety and security. There's a number of features in this release that will help with all of that in your daily life.
Another thing we got to talk about was the integration of Gemini. It's not only on phones, it's also going to be in cars, watches, and even on your TV. And what's neat about this is you have full access to Gemini, whether it's recommending a show for you or allowing you to actually do a doodle with your family on your home TV.
In the past, where assistants maybe taught us how to speak to them. You had to say things in a particular way. Now, with the advances in AI, you can just speak naturally and with all your ums and ahs and all your human affectations.
I can also pull up movies. Hey Google, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. And so this pulls up the movie page, automatically plays the trailer. But now it can do even more complicated queries. Hey Google. Hey Google. Which Mission Impossible is the best one?
That's a fun debate. Many fans consider Mission Impossible Fallout to be a standout for its incredible action sequences and compelling story. Others might argue for the original Mission Impossible for its suspense and classic spy feel, or perhaps Ghost Protocol for its globe-trotting adventure and Burj Khalifa stunt.
The system can really understand. Where that comes into play and where that's really interesting is, of course, on the phone, but also on new form factors that are yet to be super popular, but I think are going to be, which is, for example, glasses, where you have the ability for you to see a display that's right in front of you that no one else can see, and a camera that can help the assistant see the world as you do. AI certainly does have instances where it doesn't get things correct. And I think that what's important here is to understand the context. So obviously, if you're using AI as part of Google search, that's going to be a really important area where factual information is critical. And the search team works really hard to make sure that they get that right. In other instances, like where we talked about in identifying an image and describing it, the AI can do its best, and it can actually be tuned to do quite a good job, and also give a disclaimer to the consumer that's like, you may want to double check this if it's a critical decision you need to make. Like before you buy it, maybe double check this with someone. But I think what we've found is that consumers would rather have access to this technology and would rather use it where we can make it very safe, even though in some cases there are instances where you may need to understand there are limits.
So Gemini first took off on Android phones, and for a lot of people, it was kind of a quiet revolution. You didn't have to dig through apps or copy-paste into different tools anymore. You just held down the power button, asked a question or gave a command, and Gemini got to work, summarizing emails, generating replies, organizing your calendar, whatever. It was fast, and it felt like the beginning of something way bigger. Now Google's pushing that boundary even further. They're not keeping Gemini stuck on your phone. They're putting it everywhere, on your wrist, in your car, on your TV, and even into headsets with Android XR. They want Gemini to be more than an app or an assistant. They want it to become part of your environment, like digital oxygen. Always there, always ready, no matter what device you're using. And it starts, very smartly, with the watch. I'll be honest, most smartwatches up until now have felt more like accessories than true assistants. You check your steps, maybe read a text, silence a call, and that's pretty much it. But Gemini is flipping that idea on its head. Because now, your watch is starting to think for itself. Imagine you're at the gym. You've already thrown your phone in the locker, your hands are full, you're mid-run, and you suddenly realize you need to remember what locker you used. Instead of stopping your workout or trying to type something in, you just say, "Hey Gemini, remember I'm using locker 43. And it does. No tapping, no menu diving. You speak naturally, and your watch just gets it. Or say you're walking out of the grocery store, arms full of bags, and you hear a ping. New email. You don't have time to dig out your phone. You don't want to drop everything just to read it. So you ask, "Gemini, summarize my last email." And you get the answer right there on your wrist. A quick summary in natural language, and you can decide whether it's urgent or not, without breaking stride. This is huge, because it's not just about convenience. It's about minimizing friction in your day. The less time you spend wrestling with your tech, the more time you have to focus on the things that actually matter. Another thing that makes this different is how conversational it is. You don't have to phrase things perfectly. You can speak like a human being. No more memorizing robotic command phrases. Just talk. Gemini understands what you mean, not just what you say. That's something even Siri and Alexa still struggle with. And it's not just remembering things or reading emails. Gemini is connected to your entire Google world. Calendar, Gmail, Maps, even docs and messages, all accessible through your watch. So if your friend emails you a restaurant suggestion and you can't remember the name later, you can literally just ask your watch, "Hey, what was that place Sarah mentioned?" and it'll dig through your emails and pull it up. That level of context, pulling data from across your apps and surfacing it when you need it, that's where Gemini really starts to feel more like a digital teammate than just an assistant. And it's all happening on something you wear on your wrist. What's even more interesting is how Gemini is being woven into the entire Galaxy ecosystem. This isn't just a Pixel thing. Google is teaming up with Samsung, and Gemini is coming to Galaxy watches, starting with the next update. And when you pair that with the Galaxy Buds 3, activating Gemini is even smoother. You can issue commands without touching anything, get smart responses instantly, and it just flows into your routine without any real effort. That's what makes this such a bold move from Google. They're turning the watch from a second screen into a first responder. Something that doesn't just mirror your phone, but actually works independently, intelligently, and with purpose.
Google is adding Gemini AI to its smart TV platform, so you'll be able to do a lot more with your TV than just watching movies. So in order to save energy, the Google TV, while it's always on, turns the screen off when you're not in the room. For example, right now, we're outside of its detection zone, so the screen is off. But I'm going to move a little bit closer, about here, and it should turn on. We'll see a little screensaver. It'll pop up like that. It'll show artwork or whatever you want, sort of as an ambient mode. I'm going to move a little bit closer now. And once I get into this range, now it's going to show more actionable advice, such as your calendar, the weather, maybe some footage from your security cameras, and maybe some other photos and things too. Thanks to the built-in microphones in the TV, you'll be able to interact with Google directly without ever picking up the remote. So for example, you can ask it for the weather, change channels, or look up information on shows that you might want to watch. For example, you might be able to say, show me movies about dinosaurs, and it'll provide you a list. And then you could narrow that down further by saying, I like Jurassic Park. What are movies like it I can watch with my kids? So it'll further call that down for you to show you maybe age-appropriate content. One of the new features that's coming to this interface is a news brief. If you ask it for today's top stories, Google will provide you recaps of the top stories from a variety of reputable news sources. You can also use the TV for educational content. For example, you could ask Gemini to explain the solar system to a third grader, and then it'll bring up not only a response in Gemini, but also relevant YouTube clips that might explain various planets in the language that a kid can understand. As with the current Google TV streamer, this one will also integrate with smart home devices. So for example, if someone rings your video doorbell, you'll get a picture of it on the screen itself, and then you'll be able to talk with the person at your door, such as having them leave a package or something like that. And if you want to turn off the lights for movie time, you can just talk to your TV and it'll turn off the lights, change the thermostat settings, and even lock your front doors. Hey Google, let's start movie night. And the lights turn off. These Google TV Gemini features are going to be rolling out throughout the year to the Google TV platform. The TVs themselves aren't going to come to the end of the year, and they'll be made by TCL and Hisense.
But it doesn't stop there. Gemini is moving beyond the watch, and fast. It's showing up in your car, on your TV, and even in mixed reality. This isn't just Google pushing features. It's them laying the groundwork for one connected AI system that runs across your entire digital life.
We're expanding Gemini way beyond phones, because a truly smart and helpful assistant should be there with you across all your devices and adapt to the way you use them. On a run, in the car, or even on the couch, your assistant should be ready to go. In the coming months, we're bringing Gemini to your watch on Wear OS. It's really helpful to have Gemini on your wrist in the moments when your phone isn't handy. Hands covered in flour while cooking, rushing between meetings, or in the middle of a bike ride. There's no need to get the words just right or awkwardly type into a tiny screen. Just talk naturally. So when I'm at the locker room in the gym and I've already put my phone away, I can still set a reminder for myself like, remember I'm using locker 43 today. And Gemini can understand me even when I'm in the middle of exercising. So I can ask, where's the restaurant Emily emailed about for tonight? And there it is. I didn't even need to pause my workout. Gemini is also coming to cars, starting with Android Auto in the upcoming months, followed by cars with Google built in. Gemini is really good at understanding what I want while I'm driving, whether it's local information or a fun podcast. So instead of focusing on the perfect prompt or tapping the right button, I can stay focused on the road ahead. And it's not just finding the best route, it's about helping you along the way. Gemini can help me find a charger that's on the way to the post office that's also near a park, so that I can go for a walk while my car is charging.
Here are some vehicle charging stations near Vasona Park.
And rather than just reading my messages, Gemini can summarize them.
Your mom said she wants to hang out this Saturday, since the weather will be nice, and suggested a picnic.
I can tell Gemini, let's meet up at the beach, add a sunshine emoji, and translate it into Korean before sending.
Alright, message to mom saying, 해변에서 만나요, with a sunny emoji.
Okay, now one other thing that I'm really excited about is Gemini Live, which can help me take advantage of all those hours I spend in the car. I can just ask, give me a quick rundown of the news today, but leave out sports.
Here's a quick rundown of some of the top news headlines today, Tuesday, May 13th, 2025.
It can even help me out of a jam, like if I'm on my way to book club, and really I finished the book, but totally forgot what happened. I can say, give me a quick synopsis and a couple of good points for discussion.
Pride and Prejudice. Here's a quick rundown. In the English countryside, the witty and independent Elizabeth Bennet clashes with the proud and aloof Mr. Darcy.
Now, what about when you're back at home for the night? Later this year, Gemini capabilities are coming to your TV too. With Gemini on Google TV, I can ask for action movies that are age-appropriate for my kids and get the best recommendations. And TV isn't just for entertainment. I can help my kids explore their endless questions about the solar system. Gemini pulls up the perfect YouTube video and explains how it's basically like a giant playground filled with stars and planets. Perfect for my first grader. Okay, so Gemini is on the small watch screen, your screen on wheels, and the biggest screen in your living room. And hey, what about the infinite screen? Later this year, Gemini is also coming to Android XR. As you might have heard, Google and Samsung are collaborating on Android XR, a new platform for extended reality devices, headsets, glasses, and everything in between. Gemini unlocks powerful new ways to interact with these next-gen devices. Imagine Gemini helping you plan a vacation by surrounding you with videos, maps, and local tips, creating an entire itinerary in minutes within a rich, immersive experience. We'll share more on Android XR at I/O next week. With Gemini coming to all these new devices, we're bringing personalized smart help wherever you are, on whatever Android device you're using.
Take the car, for example. Android Auto with Gemini means no more exact commands or button tapping. You just talk, like you would to a friend, and it understands what you're asking. Whether you're trying to find a charging station near a park or replying to a message in another language, Gemini handles it while you stay focused on the road. Honestly, it makes the old way of using voice assistants feel clunky.
Gemini 2.5 Pro is our most intelligent model ever. And now that it incorporates LearnLM, our family of models built with educational experts, 2.5 Pro is also the leading model for learning.
I got 2.5 Pro to code me a simple web app. Someone comes to you with a brilliant idea. I'm going to add in a prompt that asks 2.5 Pro to update my code based on the image. And here's what Gemini generates. Whoa. I was able to create this just based on a sketch. But what if it talked? That's where Gemini's native audio comes in.
That's a pangolin, and its scales are made of keratin, just like your fingernails.
Today, we're making 2.5 Pro even better by introducing a new mode we're calling Deep Think. Deep Think uses our latest cutting-edge research in thinking and reasoning, including parallel techniques.
Research prototype Project Mariner. It's an agent that can interact with the web and get stuff done. We released it as an early research prototype in December, and we have made a lot of progress since. And we are starting to bring agentic capabilities to Chrome, Search, and the Gemini app. Let me show you what we are excited about. We call it Agent Mode. Say you want to find an apartment for you and 2 roommates in Austin. You've each got a budget of $1,200 a month. You want a washer dryer or at least a laundromat nearby. Using agent mode, the Gemini app goes to work behind the scenes. You might be familiar with our AI-powered smart reply features. Now imagine if those responses could sound like you. That's the idea behind personalized smart replies. With your permission, Gemini models can use relevant context across your Google apps in a way that is private, transparent, and fully under your control. Let's say my friend wrote to me looking for advice. He's taking a road trip to Utah, and he remembers I did this trip before. Gemini can do almost all the work for me, looking up my notes in Drive, scanning past emails for reservations. Gemini matches my typical greetings from past emails, captures my tone, style, and favorite word choices, and then it automatically generates a reply.
Gemini Flash is our most efficient workhorse model. The new Flash is better in nearly every dimension, improving across key benchmarks for reasoning, code, and long context. Flash will be generally available in early June, with Pro soon after.
Gemini Diffusion is a state-of-the-art experimental text diffusion model that leverages this parallel generation to achieve extremely low latency. The version of Gemini Diffusion we're releasing today generates 5 times faster than our fastest model so far.
This is our ultimate vision for the Gemini app, to transform it into a universal AI assistant. In Project Astra, we've upgraded voice output to be more natural with native audio. We've improved memory and added computer control.
We're building Android XR. What about emerging form factors that could let you experience an AI assistant in new ways, from headsets to glasses and everything in between? This is Samsung's Project Muhan, the first Android XR device. With Google Maps in XR, you can teleport anywhere in the world simply by asking Gemini to take you there. You can talk with your AI assistant about anything you see and have it pull up videos and websites about what you're exploring. Imagine watching them play in the MLB app as if you were right there in the stadium, while chatting with Gemini about player and game stats. Now, let's turn our attention to glasses. Glasses with Android XR are lightweight and designed for all-day wear, even though they're packed with technology. A camera and microphones give Gemini the ability to see and hear the world. Speakers let you listen to the AI, play music, or take calls. And an optional in-lens display privately shows you helpful information just when you need it. Let's see how they work in the most hectic environment possible right now, backstage at I/O.
Hey everyone! Right now, you should be seeing exactly what I'm seeing through the lens of my Android XR glasses. Text from Shram that just came in. Let's see what he said. All right, it's definitely showtime, so I'm gonna launch Gemini and get us going. Send Shram a text that I'm getting started and silence my notifications, please.
Okay, I've sent that message to him and muted all your notifications.
I've been curious about this photo wall all day. Like, what band is this, and how are they connected to this place?
A legend rock band shows at Shoreline Amphitheater, which are often seen as homecoming shows for the band.
No way! Can you show me a photo of one of their performances here?
Sure, here's one. Want me to play one of their songs?
I'd love that. I can listen while I make my way to the stage.
Great. Here's Under the Aurora by Counting Crows.
By the way, do you want to book that coffee with Dita now?
Yes. The crew actually gave me some awesome coffee backstage, so let me try something fun. Gemini, what was the name of the coffee shop on the cup I had earlier?
That might have been Bloomsgiving. From what I can tell, it's a vibrant coffee shop on Castro Street.
Can you show me the photos of that cafe? I want to check out the vibes.
Definitely. Do these photos from Maps help?
Okay. Gemini, show me what it would take to walk here.
Getting those directions now. It'll take you about an hour.
Okay. I can get some steps in, and these heads-up directions and a full 3D map should make it super easy. Go ahead and send Dieter an invite for that cafe and to get coffee at 3 p.m. today.
I'll send out that invite now. Enjoy the coffee.
All right, Gemini, take a photo for me and add it to my favorites.
Nishta and I are going to speak to each other in our mother tongues. We'll show an English translation in real time. Besiyar khoob. Hala mituni bebini. Harfay man. Tarjume mishan az Farsi be Englisi.
हाँ बिल्कुल अब मेरी पूरी दुनिया खुल जाती है और मैं सब कुछ समझ सकती हूँ आसानी से
This is just the start. I can't wait for you to try Android XR for yourself, and we'll have lots more to share in the months ahead. Thank you so much.
Then there's Google TV. This one surprised me a bit. You can just ask it to find a movie that's good for your kids or say something like, play a video that explains black holes. And it just does it. No remote, no endless scrolling. If you've ever sat on the couch flipping through 30 thumbnails and giving up, you know how big this is. It makes the TV feel alive, like it gets what you want before you even finish the sentence. And now, they're stepping into full-on spatial computing with Android XR. When Samsung's headset drops, Gemini won't just be on a screen, it'll be in your environment. You'll be able to plan trips surrounded by maps, videos, reviews, like having a travel agent floating in your living room. That's wild. And kind of exciting, but also a little overwhelming if I'm being honest. Because here's the thing. The convenience is incredible. This whole system is being designed to take friction out of your day. You talk, it responds. You need something, it surfaces it. No typing. No switching devices. Just one assistant that follows you through everything. But at the same time, I'm asking myself, how much of my daily life am I okay outsourcing to AI? It's helpful, yeah. But how much control are we giving up for that convenience? Would you trust an assistant like this to manage your reminders, your communication, even what you watch or where you go? That's not a small question. It's where we're headed. And we haven't even talked about what's coming next. AI glasses. That's the next step in this rollout. Gemini won't just be in your car or on your wrist, it'll be in your field of view. Real-time help, answers, context, right in front of your eyes. That's where this is all going. And honestly, it's a little crazy how fast it's happening. If you want to see where this goes, we made a separate video all about those AI glasses, what they can do, what Google's building, and how they'll change the way we see the world, literally. You should check that out next. And as always, let me know what you think. Are you excited about this kind of future? Or do you think we're moving too fast? Drop a comment, hit like if you got value from this, and subscribe if you want to go deeper into the world Gemini is building around us. Because this is just the beginning. Google just revealed major updates to Gemini. Faster AI, better tools, and new features already built into Gmail, Docs, and more. They're also partnering with NVIDIA to bring AI to secure industries. Here's everything you need to know.
Google's AI momentum is exciting. We're seeing more than 4 million developers using Gemini, a 20 times increase in Vertex AI usage last year, driven by the strong adoption of Gemini Flash, Gemini 2.0, Imagine 3.0, and most recently, VO, our advanced video generation model. And over 2 billion AI assists monthly to business users right within Google Workspace. But even more exciting is the momentum with you, our customers. Here at Next, we'll be sharing over 500 customer stories, showcasing real business innovation, impact from AI adoption. Google is building for a unique moment. We're investing in the technology and the ecosystem to power your growth and transformation. Let's hear more from a special guest. A warm welcome for the CEO of Google and Alphabet, Sundar Pichai.
Thank you, Thomas. Good to be with you all here in Vegas. Last year, I joked in my remarks about how I was auditioning for the Sphere. Well, it turns out I got the gig. Last night, I was on stage at the Sphere to share a new collaboration. We are introducing The Wizard of Oz to a new generation using Google AI, transforming one of the greatest films of all time for one of the largest screens in the world. It's a huge ongoing effort and not something we could have attempted even 18 months ago. Shows how rapidly technology is evolving and how it can enable us to rethink what's possible. I think that's a fitting theme for Cloud Next. The chance to improve lives and reimagine things is why Google has been investing in AI for more than a decade. We see it as the most important way we can advance our mission, to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. With Google Cloud, we see AI as the most important way we can help advance your mission. The opportunity with AI is as big as it gets. That's why we are investing in the full stack of AI innovation, starting with the infrastructure that powers it all. We are making big investments now and for the future. In 2025, we plan to invest around $75 billion in total CapEx. This investment will be directed towards our servers and data centers, which includes powering our AI compute and cloud business. So this will greatly benefit our customers like all of you. We need our infrastructure to move at Google speed with near zero latency, supporting services like Search, Gmail, and Photos for billions of users worldwide. And we use it for training our most capable model, Gemini. Google's backbone network is unparalleled, as Thomas just mentioned, spanning more than 200 countries and territories, powered by over 2 million miles of fiber. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we are making Google's global private network available to enterprises around the world. We call it Cloud Wide Area Network, or WAN. Cloud WAN leverages...
Wow. The new Gemini update from Google is impressive. They've got over 4 million developers using it, and their AI tools inside Google Workspace are helping with more than 2 billion tasks every month. That's emails, documents, meetings, all being supported by AI in real time. You can really see how fast this tech is being adopted. Sundar Pichai announced they're putting $75 billion into infrastructure this year. That's mostly going into data centers and servers to keep up with demand for AI. It shows they're taking this seriously and building for long-term use, not just short-term buzz. They're also releasing a new AI chip called Ironwood later this year. It's their most powerful TPU yet, and it's designed specifically to handle these large-scale AI models. All of this points to one thing. Google is building a system that's ready to support massive, real-world use of AI. And it's already happening, not someday, but right now.
Compared to our first publicly available TPU, Ironwood achieves 3,600 times better performance, an incredible increase. It's the most powerful chip we have ever built and will enable the next frontier of AI models. In the same period, we've also become 29x more energy efficient, and Amin will share more later today. This progress is laying the foundation for breakthroughs across multiple fields. Quantum computing is a great example. Our newest quantum chip, Willow, cracked a key challenge in quantum error correction that has eluded researchers for 3 decades. It can reduce errors exponentially as we scale up using more qubits. The Willow chip really paves the way for a useful large-scale quantum computer down the road. Our infrastructure enables the next layer of the stack, research and model. Over the last decade, our research teams have pushed the boundaries of AI forward. And today, they are accelerating science and discovery. From our AlphaFold breakthrough with protein folding to WeatherNext, our state-of-the-art weather forecasting models. World-class research is what enables us to push the frontier with our Gemini models. In December, we introduced Gemini 2.0 with new advances in multimodality. like native image and audio output, as well as native tool use. This new generation has also pushed the frontiers of another capability called thinking. A couple weeks ago, we released a new model, Gemini 2.5, a thinking model that can reason through its thoughts before responding. It's our most intelligent AI model ever, and it's the best model in the world according to the Chatbot Arena leaderboard. It's state-of-the-art across a range of benchmarks requiring advanced reasoning. That included the highest score ever on humanities' last exam, one of the hardest industry benchmarks that's designed to capture the human frontier of knowledge and reasoning. There's a lot of impressive words, but let me show you what it can do. Take a look at this Rubik's Cube coded by developer Matt Berman. You might think of it as a toy, but it's actually a really complex reasoning challenge. Adjustable dimensions, scrambling the squares, keyboard controls, and Gemini 2.5 Pro can simulate it all. It's a significant leap and shows the ability to produce robust interactive code. That's a fun one. Let's look at one other example. With a series of prompts, developer John Martin used 2.5 Pro to create a series of physics simulations, like the Earth's magnetic field and general relativity. You can see how the model turns really complex concepts into stunning and interactive visuals. These are just a few brief examples, but we are excited about the possibilities, and we can't wait to see what you'll build with it. Gemini 2.0 is now available for everyone in AI Studio, Vertex AI, and in the Gemini app. I'm also excited to announce Gemini 2.5 Flash, our low latency and most cost-efficient model with thinking built in. With 2.5 Flash, you can control how much the model reasons and balance performance with your budget. 2.5 Flash is coming soon in AI Studio, Vertex AI, and in the Gemini app. We'll be sharing more details on the model and its performance soon. I'm pretty excited by it and can't wait for you to see it for yourselves. Our goal is to always...
This next part is honestly mind-blowing. Google's new AI chip, TPU Ironwood, is 3,600 times more powerful than their first public chip. That's not a small bump. That's a whole new level. And they've made it 29 times more energy efficient too, which is huge for sustainability. They're also making real progress in quantum computing. Their Willow chip just solved an error correction problem that scientists have been stuck on for 30 years. That could be a major step toward large-scale quantum machines actually becoming usable. Then Sundar talked about Gemini 2.5. This one's exciting. It can think before responding. That means it can plan, reason, and work through tough problems, not just spit out words. It even hit the highest score ever on something called Humanities' Last Exam, a test designed to challenge AI at the human level. He showed it solving a Rubik's Cube through code and simulating physics, like Earth's magnetic field. These aren't just tricks, they show real reasoning and creativity. And the best part? Gemini 2.5 Pro is available now for anyone using AI Studio or Google Cloud.
McDonald's is undergoing a once-in-a-generation transformation. We have about 65 million people that come to our restaurants every single day, and it's how do we make their experience even better? Google's a big part of that, particularly as more and more of those customer interactions are happening in a digital world. That's why we're transforming our restaurant experience with the help of Google Cloud. Behind the counter, our restaurant team's jobs are becoming increasingly complex. With edge computing from Google Distributed Cloud, capabilities will readily improve stability, security, and performance in our restaurants, all while giving us the space and power to test several new concepts we weren't able to do previously. For example, shift leaders will be able to leverage an AI-powered assistant to help spot issues in the restaurant quickly. Our restaurant managers will be able to receive alerts on their devices based on real-time data, say from their freezer or fryers, along with guidance for predictive maintenance. And with Gemini on Vertex AI, We can centralize all this information from restaurants in real time, making it easier for the right people to get answers with a simple question or prompt, improving the work environment in our restaurants across the globe for our more than 2 million team members. That's the magic. That's the power of AI and what Google Cloud has brought to McDonald's.
Thank you, Chris. McDonald's is a great example of a company integrating AI into the very core of its operations. Customers around the world are choosing to work with Google for 3 important reasons. First, Google Cloud offers an AI-optimized platform with leading price, performance, precision, and quality. And new today, everything you need to build and manage multi-agent systems. Our AI platform offers advanced infrastructure and databases, world-class research leading models, and grounding for model responses with Google Quality Search. Vertex AI, a robust developer platform, including the broadest range of enterprise-ready tools with which you can build AI agents and enable a multi-agent ecosystem, and the most comprehensive portfolio of purpose-built agents. Second, Google Cloud offers an open multi-cloud platform that allows you to adopt AI agents while connecting them with your existing IT landscape, including your databases, your document stores, enterprise applications, and interoperating with models and agents from other providers. You get value faster from your AI investments. And third, Google Cloud offers an enterprise-ready AI platform built for interoperability. It enables you to adopt AI deeply while addressing the evolving concerns around sovereignty, security, privacy, and regulatory requirements. You can adopt AI while we protect your data and your intellectual property and enable you to maintain compliance. Powering this offering is our advanced infrastructure core for AI. To share the latest, please join me in welcoming Amin Vadat.
Thank you, Thomas. Demand for AI compute for training and inference is growing at an unprecedented rate. For over 8 years, it has increased by over 10 times year over year, a factor of 100 million in just 8 years. We're continuing to offer leading power efficiency, performance, and networking for training and inference workloads, starting with the hardware. Today, we introduced our 7th generation of TPUs, Ironwood. Ironwood TPUs are our largest and most powerful TPU pods to date, more than a 10x improvement from our most recent high-performance TPU.
They're teaming up to bring advanced AI to industries that need the highest levels of security and privacy, like healthcare, finance, and government. If you can't use the public cloud due to regulation, they'll bring AI to you through something called Google Distributed Cloud with Gemini and NVIDIA tech built in. That's a big deal. It opens AI access to a whole new group of users. And Google's not slowing down. Gemini is now powering all major Google tools, Gmail, Docs, Drive, Meet, and it's included in every workspace subscription. Businesses like Rivian and Europe's largest retailer, Schwartz Group, are already using it to speed up research, automate tasks, and draft documents in a fraction of the time. They're also rolling out new features like Help Me Analyze in Sheets, audio summaries in Docs, and workspace flows to automate repetitive tasks. One company even saved 35 hours a month just by letting Gemini write product descriptions. Another is using it to summarize meetings automatically so teams can stay focused and present. This is what practical AI looks like. It's saving time, boosting creativity, and letting teams do more without burning out. Gemini is changing fast, and Google's clearly investing to stay ahead. From powerful chips to smarter tools, this is already reshaping how people work. If you want to stay updated on how AI is evolving and what it means for you, make sure to follow for more. In the ever-evolving world of technology, where every new device seems to promise a revolution, this latest development from OpenAI and Johnny Ive stands out as a game-changer. While the tech giants have been relentlessly pushing their limits, trying to outdo each other in the race for AI supremacy, OpenAI's entry into the hardware market is set to redefine everything we know about how we interact with technology. And it all starts with a device that may just make your beloved laptop or phone obsolete. We've heard the buzz for years about AI taking over. From virtual assistants like Siri to Google's Gemini, we've seen AI slowly but surely find its place within our everyday devices. But what happens when that AI isn't confined to your smartphone or computer anymore? What happens when AI is integrated into a device so seamlessly that it becomes an extension of your thoughts, a true partner in your day-to-day life? That's where Sam Altman and Johnny Ive's collaboration comes in. Sam Altman, the man behind OpenAI, has long been vocal about his vision for AI as the driving force of the next technological revolution. His ambition was clear: to take AI from being just a tool we use to something that integrates fully with our lives. Enter Johnny Ive, the design genius whose creations at Apple, like the iPhone and MacBook, reshaped the tech landscape. Together, they are bringing us something that is poised to change everything, and it's not your typical smartphone or laptop. Imagine a world where your device doesn't just respond to commands. Instead, it's contextually aware, aware of your surroundings, aware of your environment, and capable of interacting with you in ways that go beyond what we've seen before. No more staring at a screen, waiting for your device to respond to your touch or voice. This new device, born out of the minds of OpenAI and Johnny Ive, promises to break those limitations. Forget the conventional devices that were never built with AI as the core focus. This is about creating a new way of interacting with the very fabric of technology itself. The device's design is simple yet profound. Without a screen, it's set to blend into your life in a way that no phone, no laptop could ever hope to do. It's about intuitive interaction, something that seamlessly fits into your environment and your workflow. And while we don't know all the details just yet, it's clear that OpenAI's new device is being built to be far more than just another gadget. It's going to be the first step in a future where AI becomes a fundamental part of every interaction. And let's talk about the bigger picture here. Big tech, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they've all been racing to dominate AI. But now, with this acquisition of I/O and the merging of talent and resources from both OpenAI and Johnny Ive's team, this new device could be the catalyst for an entirely new wave of competition. This is a challenge to the status quo, a direct threat to the devices that have been reigning supreme for decades. We're talking about a device that could actually change the way we approach computing. While laptops and phones have dominated our lives for over 20 years, they were never designed with AI as a focal point. But this new device? It's designed for AI from the ground up. It's designed to make you rethink how you interact with the digital world. And here's the kicker. This new device isn't meant to replace your phone or laptop. It's not here to do away with the technology we've grown accustomed to. Instead, it's designed to work in harmony with those devices, enhancing our interactions with them, making everything feel more natural, more intuitive. Picture a device that augments your experience, offering you a more seamless, more efficient way to navigate your digital life. As the details about the device continue to unfold, one thing is clear. Sam Altman and Johnny Ive are on the brink of something monumental. This is a glimpse into the future, a look at what AI-powered devices will look like when they no longer exist as mere tools, but as partners in our daily lives. So, how will this change the way we think about technology? Will this device signal the end of the age of laptops and smartphones, or will it create an entirely new category of AI-powered devices? As OpenAI and Johnny Ive prepare to release this groundbreaking technology, the tech world is on the edge of its seat. And if you thought the last few years of innovation were impressive, you haven't seen anything yet. Stay tuned, because the future of technology just got a whole lot more exciting.
It's Johnny Ives, the man behind the creation of the iPhone, teaming up with Sam Altman of OpenAI this week in what could be a potential threat to the big tech companies that are searching for AI supremacy, with Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon all investing internally and externally to achieve those goals.
We've seen from Sam Altman and OpenAI before. Last year, before Google I/O, they also released another product. And so this is just really their same playbook, but they really up the ante this year because they announced this acquisition on the second day of Google I/O this week. The company that they acquired is called I/O. So when you go on X, someone noted that if you typed in I/O, it's not Google I/O that comes up, it's this acquisition. But I think with the larger picture for I think Sam Altman and OpenAI is, they're getting into a space that they could really disrupt the rest of big tech, because if you own the device, if you own the actual entry point into the AI systems that we're using more and more, there is no reason for you to go and use Gemini or use Siri, another phone, and to take this very beloved figure in consumer product tech design.
OpenAI is on the brink of revolutionizing the way we interact with AI. While most of the tech world is focused on software, OpenAI is stepping into the hardware arena, and they've teamed up with Johnny Ive to do it. So, what's the big deal? How will OpenAI's new device change everything we know about AI and technology?
I think we have the opportunity here to kind of completely reimagine what it means to use a computer.
Sam is a rare visionary. He shoulders incredible responsibility, but his curiosity, his humility remain utterly inspiring.
Johnny is the deepest thinker of anyone I've ever met. What that leads him to be able to come up with is unmatched.
I moved to America drawn by the exhilarating optimism of San Francisco and Silicon Valley.
We are sitting at the beginning of what I believe will be the greatest technological revolution of our lifetimes.
I have a growing sense that everything I have learned over the last 30 years has led me to this place and to this moment.
Morning, John.
Hey, Sam. Good. How you doing? Good.
So what is this announcement we're talking about?
2 years ago, John and I started talking about what the future of AI and new kinds of computers was going to look like. I was running OpenAI. Johnny was running a design firm called LoveFrom that had established itself as really the, I think, densest collection of talent that I've ever heard of in one place and probably has ever existed in the world. And it became very quickly apparent to both of us that we needed a third company.
A year ago, I founded I/O with Scott Cannon, Evans Hankey, and Tang Tan, who are the most extraordinary engineers. They have built a team of remarkable subject matter experts that range from hardware and software engineering, physicists, researchers, product manufacturing experts. And so I/O is merging with OpenAI.
Formed with the mission of figuring out how to create a family of devices that would let people use AI to create all sorts of wonderful things.
Rarely does a single product announcement mark such a significant shift in the landscape of technology. But OpenAI's unveiling of its first device is exactly that kind of moment. We're witnessing the convergence of two technological powerhouses, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and Johnny Ive, a designer known for his transformational impact on products like the iPhone and MacBook. This collaboration is about rethinking how we interact with technology, how we experience AI, and how these elements will shape the future of our lives. For years, we've been limited by the tools we use to access AI. Laptops, smartphones, and desktops, though powerful, were never designed with AI as the focal point. But OpenAI's new device is set to change all of that. This is a shift in how we experience technology. The device represents the beginning of a new era. AI is no longer something that resides in the cloud, only accessible through traditional interfaces. This device puts AI directly into the hands of the user, bringing us closer to the dream of intuitive, seamless interaction with machine intelligence. Imagine a device that doesn't just execute commands. It becomes a tool that works with you in real time to create, explore, and innovate.
The first one we've been working on, I think, has just completely captured our imagination.
You know, Johnny called one day and said, this is the best work our team has ever done. Yeah. I mean, Johnny did the iPhone. Johnny did the MacBook Pro. I mean, these are like the defining ways people use technology. It's hard to beat those things. Those are really wonderful. Johnny recently gave me one of the prototypes of the device for the first time to take home, and I've been able to live with it. And I think it is the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen.
The products that we're using to deliver and connect us to unimaginable technology, they're decades old.
Yeah.
And so it's just common sense to at least think, surely there's something beyond these legacy products.
We have like magic intelligence in the cloud. If I wanted to ask ChatGPT something right now about something we had talked about earlier, think about what would happen. I would like reach down, I would get out my laptop, I'd open it up, I'd launch a web browser, I'd start typing, I'd have to like explain that thing, and I would hit enter and I would wait and I would get a response. And that is at the limit of what the current tool of a laptop can do. But I think this technology deserves something much better.
So how did it all begin?
So my son Charlie was the first person in the family to use ChatGPT, and he said, "You've got to meet Sam."
I met Johnny's family relatively quickly after meeting Johnny, and they were sort of just like, it was an impossibly lovely family. And I was just thinking what a privilege it is to really connect with somebody new, and it hasn't happened to me in a long time. And the reason I think that it happened is we had both a very strong shared vision. We maybe didn't know exactly where we were going to go, but like the direction of the force vector felt clear. And then this like deeply shared sense of values about what technology should be, when technology's been really good, when it's gone wrong.
I mean, that was in a way one of the basis, I think, for one of the reasons Sam and I clicked was, despite our wonderfully different journeys to this point, our motivations and values are completely the same. In my experience, if you're trying to have a sense of where you are going to end up, you shouldn't look at the technology. You should look at the people who are making the decisions. And you should look at what drives, motivates, and look at values.
Sam Altman has always been vocal about his belief that AI will be the driving force behind the next era of technological advancement. But what makes this announcement truly noteworthy is not just the vision, but the responsibility that comes with it. Altman is looking at it as a way to solve real-world challenges. This aligns perfectly with Jony Ive's design philosophy, which has always been about more than aesthetics. Johnny's genius lies in making technology feel human, making it intuitive, and ensuring that it doesn't just function but elevates the human experience. Their collaboration is creating a device that truly serves its users. This is what makes this project so fascinating. We're not just talking about a new piece of technology, we're talking about a new approach to design, one that's driven by a profound understanding of human needs and the potential of AI. The device, in essence, is a bridge between our current limitations and the possibilities of the future. AI, up until now, has felt distant and somewhat abstract. We interact with it through a screen, but it remains something that exists outside of ourselves, something that we connect to rather than something that works with us. This new device changes that. By placing AI directly into the hands of the user, OpenAI and Johnny Ive are making this technology feel more accessible, more intuitive, and more integrated into our lives.
San Francisco has been like a mythical place in American history, and maybe in world history in some sense. It is the city that I most associate with the sort of leading edge of culture and technology.
This city has enabled and been the place of the creation of so much.
The fact that all of those things happen in the Bay Area and not anywhere else on this gigantic planet we live on, I think is really not an accident. There's a lot of like weird, quirky details about geography that I think matter, that the way the city is set up.
You know, I mean, the absurd hills, why you would choose to actually put so much energy into building on this topography is insane.
I think there's something about San Francisco. You don't get to pick and choose freedom. Either you have you let creative freedom be expressed in all of its weirdness, or you don't.
I feel I owe this city such an enormous debt of gratitude.
I want this to be democratized. I want everybody to have it. I don't want it to be the tiny percentage of the population that figures out how to use bad tools and is really smart. I want anybody to say, hey, I have this idea, make it happen.
The responsibility that Sam bears is honestly beyond my comprehension. I have a sense of some of it. But I see him, and I have seen him over the last 2 years shoulder that responsibility. I mean, late into the night. But what really struck me is what he's worrying about is not himself, and it's not his company. What I see you worrying about are other people, are about customers, about society, about culture. And to me, that tells me everything I want to know about someone.
You talk to people who use our latest model and say this is like genius level in every field, and you just have to put in the work to pull it all together. But if you have a hard problem, you can have this team of geniuses in all of their different disciplines, and they report, I'm 2 or 3 times more productive as a scientist than I was before. I'm 2 or 3 times faster to find a cure for cancer than I was before, because I have this incredible external brain. That just didn't exist 6 months ago. I think this will be one of these moments of just an absolute embarrassment of riches of what people go create for collective society.
I am absolutely certain that we are literally on the brink of a new generation of technology that can make us our better selves.
Let's look at what we know about OpenAI's new device. It's expected to be a small, pocket-sized device with no screen, likely resembling the iPod Shuffle. It may not sound like much, but that's exactly the point. In a world filled with screens, this device is designed to be something different. It won't be your typical smartphone or wearable. Instead, it will be contextually aware, using built-in cameras and microphones to understand its surroundings and learn from them. This kind of aware technology has the potential to change everything. This device could be the start of a new category of products, something that combines AI, voice commands, and seamless integration with our existing tech ecosystem. What's particularly exciting is that it won't replace your smartphone or computer. Rather, it will work in harmony with them, helping you interact with your other devices in a more natural and fluid way. With OpenAI and Johnny Ive's expertise behind it, we can be sure that this device will push the boundaries of what's possible with AI and technology. And though we don't yet know all the details, what we do know is enough to get us excited for the future of AI-powered devices.
Well, they are not saying what it is. I think the first product is going to be a home device. At some point, I expect them to follow up with a mobile device. But these are basically smart products specifically for tapping into ChatGPT. It's basically using ChatGPT as the new interface after the visual operating system. Now it's the speech-based operating system. And so I think this is something that at some point is going to become popular. Immediately, it's not going to jettison the iPhone or the MacBook. But at some point, this is going to become the future and make the future something of that time, of that current era, whenever it becomes popular. Now, you mentioned the Apple shares declining. I want to simplify it a little bit. So Johnny Ive left Apple in 2019, 6 years ago, right? He was the face of the company. He was the face of their hardware. In terms of the top two most important people at Apple, it was him and Tim Cook, and before that, it was him and Steve Jobs. He was known as Jobs' spiritual partner. They worked on everything together. They designed everything together. He leaves. Tim Cook pitches the idea to Wall Street because they were afraid, obviously, of Ive leaving, that Apple and Ive are going to work together. He made it as such that nothing's really going to change. He's just not a formal employee, right? Well, they ended up doing nothing together, and now he's working with the company that many people at Apple believe could ultimately put a pin in the iPhone.
Now, let's dive deeper into what this partnership between OpenAI and Johnny Ive truly means. OpenAI has already made waves in the AI landscape with the introduction of ChatGPT, but the collaboration with Ive takes things to an entirely new level. For the first time, OpenAI is stepping into the realm of consumer hardware with a device that could disrupt the market in ways we can't even fully imagine yet. While the details remain somewhat under wraps, there are a few key pieces of information we can work with. OpenAI's upcoming device is expected to be pocket-sized, screenless, and contextually aware. The device will likely be powered by OpenAI's latest AI model, enabling it to interact with the user in real time and even respond to its environment. Through built-in cameras and microphones, this device will gather information about its surroundings and adapt to them, providing a more personalized, intuitive experience. What's most fascinating about this device is how it's designed to integrate with other devices, smartphones, computers, and possibly more. Rather than replacing existing technology, it's intended to enhance the way we interact with everything else. Whether you're using it to interact with your smartphone or to control your home devices, this AI-powered companion will create a seamless connection between all of your devices, making it easier to live in a world that's increasingly dependent on technology.
Speaking of that, what replaces what in the future, I want to pull up this take by Josh Wolf, of course, venture capitalist a lot of people keep their eye on. He says that in his opinion, the Mag 7 just becomes MOG, Meta, OpenAI, and Google, which is a very unfortunate thing for stock investors at this current moment because OpenAI is not publicly traded. Mark, I mean, what is the potential here for OpenAI to really take out one of the big guys in the future with the ability to create real devices?
I think it's extremely high, honestly. I mean, Apple has well over 1 billion customers, so this is going to be a slow roll. They're not going to go anywhere in the next few years, but they're playing with fire here. If they don't find a way to catch up in artificial intelligence and make it a real core technology in the company, they're in big trouble. This is equivalent to 15 years ago if Samsung wasn't able to release a device with a touchscreen. AI is as core to the next wave of technology as the touchscreen has been to the last wave of technology. And don't forget, that's what the iPhone was. It was a touchscreen. The iPad, a touchscreen. Lots of computers are touchscreens. That's the equivalent here.
The decision to work with Johnny Ive on this device is a strategic one. Ive's track record speaks for itself, with his designs shaping the very fabric of modern consumer electronics. But his involvement is about more than just design. It's about vision. Ive has a remarkable ability to think beyond the immediate and create products that become an intrinsic part of our lives. This device will likely follow that same philosophy, offering something that's not just useful, but indispensable. In fact, this device could signal a shift in how we think about technology entirely. If the goal is to create a new generation of AI-powered computers, then OpenAI is aiming to create a product that doesn't just enhance existing tools, but redefines them. This could be the start of a shift away from traditional screen-based computing to something much more integrated and intuitive. It's worth noting that this is about creating a consumer product that can reach a broader audience. OpenAI is building a product that's meant to be used by the masses, not just the tech elite. This device, despite being highly advanced, could be accessible to anyone who wants to tap into the power of AI to enhance their creativity, productivity, or daily life. And what does this mean for the future of AI-powered devices? Well, if this device succeeds, it could set the stage for a whole new category of products that combine AI, portability, and context-aware technology. Whether it's helping us manage our tasks more efficiently, providing real-time insights based on our surroundings, or enhancing the way we interact with other devices, the possibilities are vast. What's particularly interesting is how OpenAI's move into hardware is reflective of the growing trend toward physical AI. Companies like NVIDIA and Amazon have been working hard to embed AI into physical devices, and OpenAI's device could be the next major leap in that direction. In a way, this device marks the next chapter in AI's journey from something abstract to something tangible. And just like the iPhone revolutionized the way we use smartphones, this new device could revolutionize the way we interact with AI. If it lives up to the lofty expectations set by Altman and Ive, we could be looking at a device that's not just the next big thing, it could be the beginning of a new era.
How are you thinking about the impact this could have on OpenAI on these other tech companies?
I mean, what a move, and it's a move we've seen from Sam Altman and OpenAI before. Last year, before Google I/O, they also released another product. And so this is just really their same playbook, but they really upped the ante this year because they announced this acquisition on the second day of Google I/O this week. The company that they acquired is called I/O. So when you go on X, someone noted that if you typed in I/O, it's not Google I/O that comes up, it's this acquisition. But I think with the larger picture for I think Sam Altman and OpenAI is, they're getting into a space that they could really disrupt the rest of big tech, because if you own the device, if you own the actual entry point into the AI systems that we're using more and more, there is no reason for you to go and use Gemini or use Siri, another phone, and to take this very beloved figure in consumer product tech design, Johnny Ive, under their belt. I mean, he's not joining; most of the team is, but that is a huge stake in the ground. And I think to Sam Altman's kind of strategy here, I think he wants to be able to disrupt in a way that Google can't, because they're so much bigger at this point.
It also makes me wonder, when last night when I was thinking about talking about this, I was thinking of asking you about the competition between OpenAI and Gemini, Google's LLM, but now I'm thinking about how Apple plays into this, given that stock's under pressure after the president's tariff tease this morning on Truth Social. How much does this actually put a risk into the room for Apple with phone dominance?
I actually think that's a great point. And we know that Apple has been under fire this year, has been under pressure because their AI hasn't delivered. Well, if your phones are going to go up in price, if it's going to disrupt your manufacturing supply chain, and you're falling behind on the most important software of the day, of the future, that I actually think it's a brilliant question. And they've got Johnny Ive now. We don't know what this device is going to look like, obviously. But yes, now they're really going to be behind on this if they can't get their iPhones to deliver on the AI promise that they've been talking about, for the last 2+ years. So I love that you were thinking about this last night. I think that it's a great connection point. And as we know, Apple, like NVIDIA, it used to be one of those stocks when earnings came around, you'd never wanted to bet against.
Yeah.
But more and more, I mean, they still have performed, fairly well, but more and more, you're seeing the concerns start to creep in, and it's because the software is becoming this AI software is becoming more important to their strategy into the future.
And something else that our steward here, executive producer John Hyland, flagged to me this morning: Humane selling to HPE for like $200 million, and that turned out to not necessarily be successful. We also know Johnny Ive, he had that AI gadget that was sort of like that pin that was going to be on your chest that didn't necessarily take off as well. So is there a chance that Sam Altman isn't betting on the perfect person for the job?
I mean, I think, it's sort of like the Ryan Reynolds. I mean, it's not exactly, but when you have somebody who is as well known as Johnny Ive, when you have somebody that can give you a boost in an area that, OpenAI is still software, in an area that they currently don't have product in, I think it's going to grab a lot of attention for a really, really long time. You're going to get the curiosity, people who are just waiting now for the product announcement. It's going to hang over every single tech company for the next couple of quarters and years, depending on how long it'll take for them to actually release something.
As we look to the future, it's clear that this device represents more than just another piece of hardware. It's a symbol of where technology is headed. A future where AI is integrated into everything we do, from the tools we use to the way we live. OpenAI is setting the stage for a world where AI becomes a natural extension of ourselves, and this device is the first step toward that future. With AI becoming more tangible and integrated into our lives, it's clear that OpenAI is playing a pivotal role in shaping what's next. And as this device nears its release in 2026, we'll be watching closely to see how it changes the way we think about technology.
And OpenAI has now agreed to buy Johnny Ive's AI startup. It's called I.O.
We believe that as you birth this new era of AI, there's going to be new platforms and new substrates, the way people experience it.
Big deal because it is OpenAI's biggest deal, biggest acquisition, $6.5 billion. But it's OpenAI which is the leader in AI development.
Oh my God, this is probably the biggest story. The first thing I said when this broke yesterday, I was just like, wow. I could not believe this was happening.
OpenAI just bought Johnny Ive's AI hardware startup for $6.4 billion. That's right, the Johnny Ive. The guy who helped design the iPhone, the iMac, the iPad, the look and feel of almost everything Apple is known for. Now he's teaming up with Sam Altman to build a new kind of device, one that's powered by AI, built from the ground up, and designed to change the way we interact with technology. And if that doesn't sound like a threat to Apple, I don't know what does. Personally, I think this might be the first real attempt to move past the smartphone. Not just to make a better phone, but to make something totally different. Something that could replace it. And Apple knows it. Their stock dropped when this news hit. People are paying attention. So in this video, I want to break down what OpenAI just did, what this new device might actually be, and why this could be the start of a whole new tech war, one that Apple might not win.
Johnny recently gave me one of the prototypes of the device for the first time to take home, and I've been able to live with it. And I think it is the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen.
The products that we're using to deliver and connect us to unimaginable technology, they're decades old.
Yeah.
And so it's just common sense to at least think, surely there's something beyond these legacy products.
We have like magic intelligence in the cloud. If I wanted to ask ChatGPT something right now about something we had talked about earlier, think about what would happen. I would like reach down, I would get out my laptop, I'd open it up, I'd launch a web browser, I'd start typing, I'd have to like explain that thing, and I would hit enter and I would wait and I would get a response. And that is at the limit of what the current tool of a laptop can do. But I think this technology deserves something much better.
However, there's also been this like growing schism of thought around what's happening at Apple. This idea that the design-forward, innovative hardware products has gone since Johnny Ive left the company. And now Johnny Ive is here. We just saw that video of him with Sam Altman. He and Sam Altman are saying, we've created this amazing new product that is going to kind of wean you off the iPhone. It's going to be focused on AI. All the stuff that we talk about Apple kind of missing out on, Johnny Ive is now bringing that as a potential rival over there. And at the same time, we've seen Apple kind of stumble out of the gate to get innovative products out. The Vision Pro has not exactly been the breakout product that Apple and so many other people probably hoped it would be. And then, of course, this year, that big artificial intelligence miss when they failed to deliver on that Siri upgrade. At the same time, we're seeing OpenAI, they're putting enormous pressure on themselves, guys. So they say, whatever this mystery project is, they're saying what it's not. It's not a phone. It's not glasses. It's not something you wear, like that Humane pin that was a flop. This is going to be something else. And if they don't really knock our socks off here, this is going to look like a $6.5 billion blunder. At the same time, if they do knock our socks off, watch out, Apple.
Could it be socks?
It could be socks.
Johnny Ive's basically been running this group or this agency or this firm called Love From. Let's call it a design agency or design firm. And with him at that group are many former Apple designers. And those people will be a part of this OpenAI initiative. We note in the Bloomberg story reported by Mark Gurman and Shireen Ghaffari that the model here is that there will be some independence. It will kind of be a standalone independent unit of OpenAI where Johnny Ive has independence. But to go back to the root of your original question, you know, when Johnny Ive left Apple in 2019, the reporting and the suggestion from Apple CEO Tim Cook was that they would sort of continue to collaborate. So even though Johnny Ive was not an employee of Apple, he'd almost be like a consultant. Remember, this is the guy that Steve Jobs once kind of like labeled his spiritual partner. You know, that's how closely aligned Johnny Ive was to the history of Apple. But, you know, the OpenAI side of this fascinates me because like this is a company that bites off a lot. Is it more than it can chew? Well, this is a big news story.
Yeah, but isn't that what tech and innovation disruption's all about, right? I mean, AI. Hey, in the story, though, Ed, it says OpenAI is going to create a product at a level of quality that, quote, has never happened before in consumer hardware. That's coming from Sam Altman. What might an AI-powered device be out of this duo or this collaboration?
Well, so there's 2 points here. You're getting at, is this going to be something very fancy and very expensive? I think they clearly are like orienting this towards the high end of whatever device or wearables market there is. The form factor, we're told it is a range of devices. Is this a smartphone? Is it a wearable?
Right.
Don't know. The cautionary tale is like in the modern era, AI devices outside of the smartphone format. You probably talked about at one time the Humane AI pin, which was like a very chunky brooch with a camera on it, and that project did not go well at all. So I'm just really curious about the form factor. I largely interact with ChatGPT. I'm a big ChatGPT subscriber. I pay for it myself, $4.0, but I use it principally on my smartphone, which is an iPhone. So I don't know, but I think the idea is that the AI side of this, the software side, that leverages OpenAI's competences.
So right after this news broke, one of the first clips I saw was from Bloomberg, and the reaction was basically, wait, is this actually a big deal? And yeah, it is. Honestly, it might be the biggest move OpenAI has made since launching ChatGPT. They just dropped $6.5 billion in stock, not cash, to acquire a company that doesn't even have a product in the market yet. But what they did buy is Johnny Ive and the team he built after leaving Apple. And if you're wondering why that matters, you have to remember, this is the guy who helped Steve Jobs create the iPhone, the iPod, the iMac, the Apple Watch, everything. His fingerprints are on every major piece of Apple hardware we've used for the last 20 years. And now he's not just working with OpenAI, he's leading the creative vision for all of it. That's massive. What's even more interesting is that this isn't just about a single product. In their announcement, they made it clear. They're not building a phone, they're not making glasses, and it's not going to be another pin or smart speaker. They said it's something completely new, something designed from the ground up for AI. And they made that statement in a video that honestly felt more like a short film than a press release.
Technology, it's hard to beat those things. Those are really wonderful. Johnny recently gave me one of the prototypes of the device for the first time to take home, and I've been able to live with it, and I think it is the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen.
The products that we're using to deliver and connect us to unimaginable technology, they're decades old.
Yeah.
And so it's just common sense to at least think, surely there's something beyond these legacy products.
We have like magic intelligence in the cloud. If I wanted to ask ChatGPT something right now about something we had talked about earlier, think about what would happen. I would like reach down, I would get out my laptop, I'd open it up, I'd launch a web browser, I'd start typing, and I'd have to like explain that thing. I would hit enter and I would wait and I would get a response. And that is at the limit of what the current tool of a laptop can do. But I think this technology deserves something much better.
So how did it all begin?
So my son Charlie was the first person in the family to use ChatGPT, and he said, "You've got to meet Sam."
I met Johnny's family relatively quickly after meeting Johnny, and they were sort of just like, it was an impossibly lovely family. And I was just thinking what a privilege it is to really connect with somebody new, and it hasn't happened to me in a long time. And the reason I think that it happened is we had both a very strong shared vision. We maybe didn't know exactly where we were going to go, but like the direction of the force vector felt clear. and then this like deeply shared sense of values about what technology should be, when technology's been really good, when it's gone wrong.
I mean, that was in a way one of the basis, I think, for one of the reasons Sam and I clicked was, despite our wonderfully different journeys to this point, our motivations and values are completely the same. In my experience, if you're trying to have a sense of where you are going to end up, you shouldn't look at the technology, you should look at the people who are making the decisions. And you should look at what drives, motivates, and look at values.
San Francisco has been like a mythical place in American history, and maybe in world history in some sense. It is the city that I most associate with the sort of leading edge of culture and technology.
This city has enabled and been the place of the creation of so much.
The fact that all of those things happen in the Bay Area and not anywhere else on this gigantic planet we live on, I think is really not an accident. There's a lot of like weird, quirky details about geography that I think matter, that the way the city is set up.
You know, I mean, the absurd hills, why you would choose to actually put so much energy into building on this topography is insane.
I think there's something about San Francisco, you don't get to pick and choose freedom. Either you have, like, you let creative freedom be expressed in all of its weirdness, or you don't.
I feel I owe this city such an enormous debt of gratitude.
I want this to be democratized. I want everybody to have it. I don't want it to be the tiny percentage of the population that figures out how to use bad tools and is really smart. I want anybody to say, hey, I have this idea, make it happen.
The responsibility that Sam bears is honestly beyond my comprehension. I have a sense of some of it. But I see him, and I have seen him over the last 2 years, shoulder that responsibility, I mean, late into the night. But what really struck me is what he's worrying about is not himself, and it's not his company. What I see you worrying about are other people, are about customers, about society, about culture. And to me, that tells me everything I want to know about someone.
You talk to people who use our latest model and say this is like genius level in every field, and you just have to put in the work to like pull it all together. But if you have a hard problem, you can have this like team of geniuses in all of their different disciplines, and they report, I'm 2 or 3 times more productive as a scientist than I was before. I'm 2 or 3 times faster to find a cure for cancer than I was before, because I have this incredible external brain. That just didn't exist 6 months ago. I think this will be one of these moments of just an absolute embarrassment of riches of what people go create for collective society.
I am absolutely certain that we are literally on the brink of a new generation of technology that can make us our better selves.
There's something different about the way this was presented. You can already feel Jony Ive's influence, not just in the look of the video, but in the tone of it. Calm, precise, human. It didn't feel corporate, it felt personal. Like they're not just building a device, but rethinking the entire relationship we have with our technology. And that's what really caught my attention. Because for years, the big question in AI has been, how do we interact with it? Most of us still use AI the same way we use a search engine. We type, we get results. Even with voice tools, we're still going through apps and screens. Jony Ive and Sam Altman are trying to change that. They're trying to create a physical form, maybe even a whole category of devices, where AI is just there. Always available, easy, intuitive. They didn't reveal what the product is yet, and yeah, it could totally flop. There's real risk here. But if they get this right, it could change everything. The way we use AI, the way we design tech, even the way we think about devices like the iPhone. And I think Apple knows that. Because right when this announcement dropped, Apple's stock took a hit. And it wasn't small. It was a clear reaction to the idea that someone else might now be leading the next wave of innovation in hardware. And not just someone, but the very person who helped Apple get to where it is in the first place.
A couple weeks ago, he said, in 10 years, you might not need an iPhone because of AI. He said that. The iPhone company is saying you might not need an iPhone. And here we are, a company, OpenAI, saying we have a breakthrough here. We're going to show you next year what this magical hardware product that the designer of the iPhone came up with.
Look, there are a lot of people who would love to be untethered from their iPhone. Like there's this societal hunger to say, like, I know people who lock the device away on Friday nights and with teens and kids and all the rest of it. So I guess from that point of view, I could see a market fit. This also comes as we're hearing more about Apple's stalled efforts on the AI front.
Exactly. And so you got a double whammy here. You have Johnny Ive, legend, right, in the design hardware group.
If you want to stay up to date on the latest tech breakthroughs and innovations, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't miss out on the future of technology. Hit that bell and stay tuned for more updates.